Today we're going to talk about some really controversial things.
I don't want to talk about Trump tonight.
No, we're not talking about Trump. We're talking about the significance of feminine principle and where she comes in. But first of all, I want to read this quote that Edinger puts in The Creation of Consciousness, okay, on page 67. He says, Jung writes, "It is only through the psyche that we can establish that God acts upon us, but we are unable to distinguish whether these actions emanate from God or from the unconscious. We cannot tell whether God and the unconscious are two different entities. Both are borderline concepts for transcendental contents. But empirically, it can be established with a sufficient degree of probability that there is in the unconscious an archetype of wholeness. Strictly speaking, the God image does not coincide with the unconscious as such, but with this special content of it, namely the archetype of the self." And so, okay, Jung put it in plain English in the following way. "To this day, God is the name by which I designate all things which cross my willful path violently and recklessly, all things which upset my subjective views, plans, and intentions, and change the course of my life for better or for worse."
Sounds like a wife.
That's where the controversy comes from.
Yeah, I think we might come around to that this evening.
We get a little rowdy, don't we?
That's right already. I'm sitting here thinking it sounds like a husband.
Yeah, works both ways.
Okay, so we're talking about we've moved on to Edinger's next lecture, and on these lectures, he's talking about Answer to Job, but this is Edinger's lectures on Answer to Job, which are transformations of the God image, transformation of the God image, and pardon?
You're quite the collection.
Oh, that's only a part of it.
That's the skinny book collection.
Yeah, Edinger wrote 17 books. So I've done these notes. I have not put them in the Dropbox yet, but I will do by tomorrow. And so these are class notes for paragraphs 609 to 624. And there are 7 key points according to Edinger's lecture, but somewhere in this I got lost, so I only have, I think, 5. And Edinger wasn't too specific when he was saying these things. But anyway, in paragraph 609, he's talking about the figure of wisdom. And wisdom is Sophia in Greek, and in Latin it's sapientia Dei. Which means the wisdom of God in Latin, right? And so what he's saying is that Yahweh was the masculine personification of the collective unconscious. That's what he's saying. And wisdom can be considered the feminine personification of the collective unconscious. And in Hebrew, it's chachma. Chachma is the Hebrew form of Sophia and Sapientia Dei. It appears first in Greek form in 600 to 300 BC, and it's the central image of the Greek philosophers. They call themselves the lovers of Sophia. Do you know that term?
Philosophy.
No, the Greek philosophers saying that they were the lovers of Sophia. in the earth.
That's what philosophy means. Well, anyway, what?
That's what philosophy means.
Well, isn't
Versus
that
Sophia,
the love of wisdom?
love of wisdom.
No, I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyway, according to Edinger, now this is Edinger talking. He says they are the lovers of Sophia, and he refers to Proverbs 1 through 9, which was written about 400 BC, and in Proverbs 1 through 9, Sophia is describing herself, and she says, "I, wisdom, dwell with experience and judicious knowledge. Mine are counsel and advice. Mine is strength, understanding. By me kings reign and lawgivers establish justice. By me princes govern and nobles rule the earth. Those who love me I also love, and those who seek me find me. With me are riches and honor. My fruit is better than gold. On the way of duty I walk along the paths of justice. The Lord begot me, the firstborn of his ways, the forerunner of his prodigies of long ago. From of old I was poured forth. When there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no fountains or springs of water, before the mountains were settled into place. When he established the heavens, I was there. When he made firm the skies above, then he fixed fast the foundations of, when he made firm the skies above, when he fixed fast the foundations of the earth, when he set for the sea its limits, that the waters should not transgress his command. Then I was beside him as his craftsman. I was his delight, day by day, playing before him all the while, playing on the surface of his earth. And I found delight in the sons of men. This is Proverbs 8:12 to 31 of the New American Bible condensed. Okay, and then in the Song of Songs becomes a major wisdom text, and the Shulamite is later identified with Sophia, and this is about 500 to 400 BC. The whole drama of the Shulamite and her lover corresponds to the perpetual love play of the heroes Gamos between Yahweh and Sophia. Okay, now the heroes Gamos, as I understand it, is masculine and feminine together, the marriage of masculine and feminine. Would you agree with that? I mean, you do have a different definition of it?
No.
Okay, all right.
I
So,
mean, no, not really.
okay, so
You
the
could
hero,
look at an image and you could say there's differences.
right? But the heroes Gamos then is the marriage between Yahweh, the masculine, and Sophia, the feminine.
Would you say it's the same thing as the sacred marriage?
The sacred marriage. It is the sacred marriage. The feminine creates manifestation. There's nothing without the feminine.
Right, but there's nothing
We three
with
men
that.
at this
But if-
table don't exist unless there was a woman that manifested us.
Right, but the
Right.
woman wouldn't manifest you without some energy. So there's a,
Yeah,
there's a
right.
balance there.
Right,
That's
so
the
there's a
marriage.
hero's
There's a
Gamos,
marriage.
right?
There's a good marriage.
Yeah, there's a marriage.
That helped.
I have a note to self. Okay, read the pink tab. Okay, so then he's referring in paragraph 610 to Ecclesiasticus, which is one of the Apocrypha. Now, the Apocrypha, apparently the Catholics will put the Apocrypha in the Bible, but the Protestants don't. Okay. The Protestants hid, for example, the Book of Thomas and the Book of Mary. Okay, and so, but apparently the Catholics are okay with at
Do the
least.
Catholics have those books? I thought it was just the Gnostics, but the Catholics do.
Well, that's what they said. Who knows?
It is the Gnostic, because
Okay.
that they call the Gnostic Gospels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway,
So that's what the Apocrypha
What?
are, is the Gnostic Gospels.
it's the Gnostic Gospels. Okay. Okay, so Ecclesiasticus was written around 200 BC, where wisdom says of herself, I came out of the mouth of the Most High and covered the earth as a cloud. I dwelt in high places, and my throne is in a cloudy pillar. I alone encompassed the circuit of heaven and walked in the bottom of the deep. I had power over the waves of the sea and over all of the earth and over every people and nation. He created me from the beginning before the world, and I shall never fail. In the holy tabernacle I served before him, and so was I established in Zion. Likewise in the beloved city he gave me rest, and in Jerusalem was my power. I was exalted like a cedar in Libanus, cedars of Lebanon, right? And as a cypress tree upon the mountains of Hermon. I was exalted like a palm tree in Engedi, and as a rose plant in Jericho, as a fair olive tree in a pleasant field, and grew up as a plane tree by the water. I gave a sweet smell like cinnamon and aspalathus, and I yielded a pleasant odor like the best myrrh. As the turpentine tree, I stretch out my branches, and my branches are the branches of honor and grace. As the vine, I brought forth pleasant savor, and my flowers are the fruit of honor and riches. I am the mother of fair love, and fear, and knowledge, and holy hope. I therefore, being eternal, am given to all my children, which are chosen of him. Okay, so this is Sophia telling about herself.
How is Sophia getting into the Bible? What part of the Bible? You're saying Genesis?
In the Apocrypha, she got
Oh, in the Apocrypha. Okay.
she got written out in
Edited out.
325. Remember the conclave of all men, right? In 325 AD, rewrote the Bible. Okay, now they were rewriting something that goes back to the Exodus, right? The Exodus happened in 1200 BC. Okay, so now they're looking back 1500 years. What do you remember about 500 AD? Or 600 AD? Come on, Bill, come up with
Well,
anything.
Buddha was running around.
No, Buddha was 500 BC.
Oh, you said
1,000 years.
AD. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you know about 500
Well,
AD?
Arthur and I were hanging out.
No, that was 1100
It
AD.
was
That was the beginning of Christianity in the British Isles, I believe.
Yeah, something
500 or
like.
600 AD.
Early Merlin.
Was Rome still around?
No, it wasn't in 500 AD. It ended
by
at
then?
425 AD or something like that. But
right after the
I mean, but my
Romans.
point to you is, okay, so here you got guys sitting in Istanbul, then Constantinople, and they are deciding what's going to be in the Bible. Okay, and of course they know about all these texts, and they're
Those guys are
around.
still alive. They're here today.
Pardon?
They're always around.
Yeah, they're always around. They're here today. We're talking
Let's
about
edit
them
this.
on video.
Yeah, let's
So
edit this bit.
they're still alive. But, those guys decided what should be in the Bible and what shouldn't. And I think the bottom line of this is, they wrote the feminine out of the Bible. Okay.
Yep.
Essentially.
Keeps coming back though.
I agree with
Her
you.
name's Hillary.
Yeah, she could.
Well, her name might be the Assumption of Mary. It might be where it started coming back.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and there's another beautiful example, which is on pages 54 and 55 of transformation of the God image, and it says, wisdom instructs her children and admonishes those who seek her. He who loves her loves life. Those who seek her out, win her favor. He who holds her fast inherits glory. Wherever he dwells, the Lord bestows blessings. Those who serve her serve the Holy One. Those who love her, the Lord loves. He who obeys her judges nations. He who hearkens to her dwells in her innermost chambers. If one trusts her, he will possess her. His descendants will inherit her. She walks with him as a stranger, and at first she puts him to the test. Fear and dread she brings upon him, and tries him with her discipline. With her precepts she puts him to the proof until his heart is fully with her. Then she comes back to bring him happiness and reveal her secrets to him.